What it is, what it do. You tuned into the Jose Morales podcast. I'm your host, Jose Morales. We're back in the ring this time with a special guest. I want to welcome on the guest my man Harmen.
Hello, everybody. Harmen. Nice to meet y'all.
Yeah. So if you train in the morning with us, you probably met Harmen or seen Harmen running around. Harmen usually trains now at 4 a.m., but you started at the very beginning at 5:30, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. Have you always been a morning person, or is this something new to you?
No, not at all. Actually, like even when I played basketball, like everything I really did was like in the evening time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is like a huge shift from going 4 a.m. because it requires like way more discipline.
Yeah.
Of course I want to come boxing every day, like train, but it's like even harder when it's 3 a.m. You know?
It adds to it. So I'm excited to have him here. The reason why I brought Harmen, besides all the great things he brings to the table when he just talks his story, he's got good energy, but he's a live testimony pretty much of everything we spoke about on the podcast the last probably 10 episodes. From testing yourself, not hiding from challenges, not being afraid to face those challenges. He is the prime example. He is the prime example of that. And I'm excited to have him on for that. But before we start talking about that, I want to get a little bit more familiar with Harmen, with your story, who you are, where you're born, raised, a little bit familiar with your family and your background. So First, tell me who you are, where were you born, where were you raised?
So my name is Harmen. I was born in Yuba City, California, and I moved here to Sacramento probably around second grade-ish. And what's crazy is actually even that was like a big switch. In Yuba City, there's a lot of Indian people. A lot of people know that. And then coming to Sacramento, it's a much more diverse city.
Yeah.
You know, so like you're seeing different races and things like that, and like social norms as well. Like, cause when you're with a lot of Indians, you know, you guys are typically doing the same things. And then now you're seeing like other races and like, you know, how they hang out, how they get together, you know, even new like slang, like, you know what I'm saying? You learn a bunch of new things. So
that was a big change?
Then
you stayed in Sacramento the rest of the time? Mm-hmm. And what high school did you go to?
I went to Leroy Green Academy, super small high school.
That's cool. How was that?
It was good. Honestly, I don't regret going there. Like when I went to the school, I was like, oh man, I just want to go to a different school for a better sports program.
Yeah.
You know?
Is that a private school?
It's a charter.
Charter school, okay.
And like, just as a student, you know, like, you don't like care as much as school as you do for your sports. They always say you're a student athlete, like student comes first, then athlete. But for me, it was really just like, oh man, sports, you know. But now looking back, I'm like, I'm glad I went to Leroy because they had a really good academic program and they had good relationships with the students. And that really matters because like, you go to other high schools where there's a lot amount of students, you know, the teachers can't
really connect with you.
With every single student, you know.
And you said you grew up playing ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Playing basketball?
A lot of basketball.
And you also mentioned the taekwondo. You did taekwondo?
Taekwondo and MMA when I was a kid though, when I was younger. Once I got my black belt, I kind of just quit and moved on to basketball.
Yeah. And then you still play basketball. Mm-hmm. Yep. And what's your family like? You have how many siblings? What's your parents like? What's that like?
Mom and dad and a younger sister. My dad was really into sports. And it's crazy because he was a MMA fighter, like an actual competitor himself. Oh, when he was younger, much better than I was, obviously. Like, but he
was this here locally?
You know what? That's actually a really good question. I do not know. But he told me like he compete in Reno before and like other places. So he really took it serious. But he just didn't have like the support coming up, you know?
Yeah, it's hard without a support, for sure.
For sure.
So what's your mom like? What's her?
My mom, she's working really like shit. Yeah. Typical, normal, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, there's nothing wrong with that. She's getting her money and she's happy, so that's all that matters.
So what was your like family's like core values for you? Was it like, did they instill discipline, work hard? Did they want school? Did they press school on you? What was that like? What did they expect out of Harmen?
It's actually really interesting that you brought that up because A lot of it is like what you taught me, really. So growing, like being incorporated into like a gym like this, like I already kind of learned these things. And like I learned that a lot from Taekwondo as well too. Like they really emphasize discipline and respect. Like for me, my dad personally always taught me one thing: never give up. Like you can't give up at all. And it's crazy coming here. That's almost like one of the number one things you emphasize too, you know, like don't give up. And that helped me a lot when, training here.
So later on, you played basketball. Did you play any college basketball, or you went, because you're in college right now, right?
Not any college, but high school. Like that's another thing. In high school, I was actually pretty good. Like I won 2 MVPs, first 2-time All-League, second time All-League. But one thing I really regret is just that I could have been a better leader to my teammates. Like I got all these awards, but looking back, it's like, bro, you didn't win anything. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter if you didn't win, or like just being that teammate where like somebody can come talk to me. I feel like I had too much like an ego. Like I thought it was higher, but nah, like coming into here, that really helped me change.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I was crazy, because here I don't seem like you're like that. I hear you pushing people. Scotty mentioned how you were pushing them in class. Yeah. So it's crazy how I can't picture you being that way.
That's one thing like I'm really trying to change, is being open-minded. Like in basketball, I feel like I could have definitely played college, somewhere junior college, D2, D3. Yeah. But it's the mindset, like really wanting to win, like really helping other people. Like coaches notice that. Like people think you got to be like a 20-point per game scorer, averaging like 8 assists. Like nah, it like even your character takes you to different levels.
For sure. All right, so why did you get into boxing? Like how did you end up here? So you went to school, you're working, all this. How did boxing come about?
Like honestly, it was kind of random. Like I was going before I came here, I was having talks with like other coaches for basketball and things like that. And I was kind of just looking at it, and I'm like, you know what? I just need a break. Like it's hard when you want to be successful so bad, but when you chase it too much, it kind of like spreads away from you. Like, well, even when I'm working here now, I'm not looking for results. I'm just like thinking about what I'm doing in the present. The results will come, as long as you put in that work in. So definitely like.
So, and that's what got you motivated to start?
Mm-hmm, definitely. And I just randomly, I was just watching a lot of YouTube videos, and the ego in me was like, oh, I could do that. Like, come on, dude, I'm tall, lanky, I got advantages. But coming in here, it humbled me like, yo, baby steps, bro. Yeah. You gotta work your way there, dude. It's baby steps.
So you started, tell me what the process was like when you started. You were in the class. What was the environment like for you?
Really good question. So when I first started, I thought I knew what I was doing. Heck no, that's all out the door. I think the first thing I ever did was I had Alex. He had pool noodles, and he was making me dodge the noodles, and I couldn't do that. And I was like, whoa, all right, dude, this is gonna be a way harder challenge than you think. And just off of that little step, it got harder and harder, but I kept progressing. I kept telling myself like, dude, you can't quit, especially in the warrior training,
Because how long were you in the classes before you transitioned to your warrior training?
I think 2 months.
2 months.
2 months, and then I transitioned to warrior training.
Remember you wanted to transition, and do you remember what I had you do? I told you I wanted you to do what?
Come early and shadow box, but
because I think didn't you fail your first test?
I failed the first time. I failed the first time, but what was really important about that, you taught me something.
What?
You taught me that you can't be discouraged about that, and also like don't give up, because I could have just gave up right there. Like you told me that too. You told me straight up, like you did everything really good. Like there were things you could tweak on, but I can't pass you, you know what I mean? And I took that, I didn't take that to heart at all, actually. I was like, okay, like he sees that I can actually get better. Let me work on that. Let me come to the gym and get my hours in, That's how it happened with basketball. I was not good at all. When I first started basketball, I averaged, I believe, 3 minutes a game my freshman year. And I knew I was capable of so much more. I just worked every day over the summer, and I won MVP the next year. Going from 3 minutes a game to MVP the next year, like, that's hard, but it's from working, like,
you put the effort into it.
Not quitting.
And I actually do that a lot where I quit people, where I fail people, because I want to see what they're like when they face that adversity. And sometimes most people, they just give up right there. They're not okay with that. I told you and I explained to you, and then I watched you every day show up early and you shadowbox. You did exactly what I was told. And then what did you notice when you did that? What changed with you?
Oh, what I really felt was that it kept me more disciplined. Like, it made me want to keep going and not stop. Like, it almost had the opposite effect.
Yeah.
To where I was like, dang, like, okay, this is hard, but I like that it's hard. I like that it's giving me a challenge to actually push and do better, you know? Not peaking at one point. You're always leveling up.
Yeah, always getting better. And then when you finally started the Warrior program, explain what that was like.
That was when it was like a huge shift.
What happened?
Huge shift. Reality check, straight up. Like, reality check, bro, wake up. Like, this is serious, dude. Because going from the normal class to the Warrior class, there was a big energy shift. Everybody's laughing and everything like that in the normal class. Like, we get a laugh here and there in the Warrior class too, but we are serious in that class, man. And that completely changed my mindset, even coming to the class, even before the class, like, all right, get ready, like, lock in. Because I feel like I didn't really have that feeling yet when I was here. I was just kind of coming to condition, you know what I mean? But once I joined the Warrior class, it gave me like a purpose. Like, this is real. Like, you are gonna get hit, but you gotta hit back. Like,
you know? And do you understand now? You probably understood a little better then, but now looking back and looking at the whole process from beginning, from going to class, from signing up classes to the Warrior training, do you understand why I set it up that way?
Yeah, for sure.
Why? What do you think?
It's like testing. It's just a test. Like, and when you're going through that, it's funny that you say that, like, looking back all of your now. I even did that, like, for myself a couple days ago. I was like, dang, I remember signing up and putting on the paper, I want to hopefully compete one day. You know what I mean? And, like, in that moment, I didn't really think of it that way, but now it's like real. Like, dude, you can actually do this, bro. Like, you can really do it if you put your mind to it.
And a lot of people do that. A lot of people put their hopes or goals or motive, whatever it is that they want to do, and I think they say it without carrying any weight behind it.
And that's how I felt too. That's really
they're
how
like,
I felt.
I'm here because I want to lose weight. But do you really want to lose weight? Like, is that really what you want to do? I'm here because I want to get better at boxing. Do you really want to get better at boxing? And what I mean by do you really is, are you ready to put the work to really make that happen?
I'm so happy you said that too, because that's how I felt when I wrote that down. Like, oh, I want to compete one day. It was kind of just, it's words. It's through one ear, throughout the other, just, I want to compete one day. And then I sat to myself and really thought about that. Like, dude, you wrote that down, bro. Like, you didn't write that down for no reason. Like, if you really want to compete one day, you have to work. You have to really want it. You can't even, like, want it halfway. You have to want it.
You gotta go all the way
like,
committed. And that's probably one of the major reasons for it. Also, I've noticed that if I put someone in a class structure at the beginning to get their confidence up, boxing's intimidating, so when you come in and you get them in an environment where it's happy people, everyone helping each other at a good, fun, energy-based like environment, it's easier to get them to fall in love with the sport before you get them to go into the hard stuff.
That is like you put it way better than I could.
Right?
That's really true. Like, at first, I was able to talk to others, like, that's something I'm always pretty good at doing.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that I could even, like, increase my confidence even more. Like, things that I do not in here, but outside of life. Like that's so important. Because there's days where, you know, I got like 3 homework assignments to do. And I'm like, I don't want to do that, you know? But then I think, what if you were in the ring, bro, and somebody's punching on you, just like, oh, I don't want to punch back. Like, no, you have to do it. You got to do that, bro.
Make it happen. Yep. So that's like my favorite part about it. So now you start in the warrior training. You're in there. What was it like at the very beginning when you sparred at the very beginning?
Man, we talked about this too. I'll
be honest, this is why I wanted to have you on here, because this is what sparked the interest, where I thought this comment here and what you said here, a lot of people need to hear. So tell me what happened.
I genuinely wanted to quit. Like, I did not want any part to do with this anymore. I was like,
but explain what happened.
This is not for me. Like, I was getting dogged in there. I was getting dogged in the ring. And I was just like, man, like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, just mentally, to have the like power to actually hit somebody else. I couldn't do that in my body. And I even had a conversation with my buddy Chip that trains here as well. And that changed my whole perspective. Like, I felt like
what did he say to you?
I felt like I was the only person that was dealing with this. Like, I couldn't talk to somebody, and that was kind of my ego. Like, I couldn't talk to somebody because I was too embarrassed to tell them I'm getting beat up. Like, I need help. And I felt like if I were to come to one of the coaches, like, come on, like, keep working. I know you guys wouldn't say that, but it's like, I didn't know how to express it. And I know how other people feel now. I didn't know how it felt before, but I knew the feeling of not being able to talk. So when I talked to Chip, he had a sparring session the day before, and he said, Harmen, like, honestly, if I'm gonna be honest with you, when I sparred in OG sparring, I couldn't sleep at night. And that made my heart drop. Like, that gave me goosebumps almost, because, like, dude, I know how you feel. Like, oh my God, I thought that was just me. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was just me feeling that way. Like, oh, dude, I can't come. And I went to my car, like, straight up, and I cried. I cried my eyes out, and I was like, dude, this is real, bro. Like, this is not a game.
Yeah.
You gotta, it's more, this is the most important part. I want everybody to, like, know about this. It's more mental than physical. Like, when I first sparred Philip, I remember I got a good 2 off, but there was something in my body that was like, whoa, don't hit him like that. Like, that didn't feel right. And you know what he did to me right after? He beat on me. Like, he really was hitting me hard, you know what I'm saying? And that's the mental aspect, because I can now that I've been training more and more, now it's like, I can really hit this person, but after it's ultimate respect, you know, hugging it out to let them know, like, hey, good job. Like,
and that's how you make your teammates better. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not trying to hit them or they're not hitting you, it's very easy to cheat yourself and cheat them.
That's an important word you just said there too, teammates.
Yeah.
When I first started the warrior training, I never even viewed it as a team, really. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna come in here to get myself better. You know what I mean? Just try to be a better boxer. But now it's like, dude, I want Grizzly to win. I want Isaiah to win. I want Phil to win, like, as bad as me. Like, I really want them to be successful. I mean that, like, from the bottom of my heart. Because there'll be times where we're in here and we're working, and we want to just, like, we're down to our last drop of energy. And just like 5 words, like, oh, you're doing great, or something like that, just boom, gives you that energy back. Like, you know what? I can't keep doing this. Like, I'm not going to stop. So.
And you said it right there, where, like, the you feed off your energy off your teammates. So that looking at it with a team effort, it makes you feel better. Definitely. You know, your teammate Grizzly just won 2 fights this weekend. Yeah. So she won Saturday and Sunday.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, that's your teammate right there.
Win.
What you said right there that you wanted to quit, what about it made you change? Was it the conversation with Chip? Or was there anything what changed with you physically that made you keep going? Like, what did you do that changed in your boxing? Was it just strictly your mindset, or did you change anything else? Or did your mindset change first and then you changed something after? What happened?
I think really strictly my mindset. Because, I mean, like, I competed in basketball, like, really competitively, you know, like AAU. There's times where you got to really, like, dog it out. You're playing hard competitors. But mentally, it's like, if you don't think you can do that, it ain't gonna work out. Like, you can't compete at all, you know what I'm saying? And it's just, I thought to myself, like, what about my dad or my mom? Like, when they're working, like, they never quit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna quit on your kid. You know what I mean? And that's when it really like lit like some fire under me. Like, dude, my parents never quit, bro. Like, they paid for this. They paid for me to come here, and I'm just gonna quit on them?
Yeah.
Like, are you serious? That's pathetic. Like, if I did that, you know what I mean? And that's when the whole switch turned. Even there's times where, you know, shout out Coach David. He pushed me so hard sometimes. I was just like, and like, I felt like he wasn't doing that to other people, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes he'd specifically get me and be like, come on, man, like push. And I would think, like, why is he doing that? He's doing that because he's trying to make you better, Harmen. Like, don't take that to heart, dude. He's doing that because he wants you to get better.
Yeah.
You guys both, like, it's the chemistry.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. When you sparred the first day, and it was a rough day. I don't think it was the first day. I think maybe or the second. It was at the beginning.
Hey, there's a couple days.
It wasn't at the beginning, but it was one of the roughest days. And you took a couple knees and you were down. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And then the next day you texted me you couldn't come.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember? And in my head, because I seen this happen before and I see it happen all the time, that's that moment where that person inside you wants to quit. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I saw that, I'm like, oh, here.
That's when it was really building up too.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I think Harmen is not gonna cut it out. I was thinking to myself, what were you telling yourself at that time? Like, at that time, not afterwards, at that time, what were you telling yourself when you woke up to not come to the gym or to not come to spar? Like, what was going through your head?
Oh, specifically, like, I was just one person, the one person I spar. I have no ego at all to say this. I was afraid to spar. I was thinking of this one person, my guy Philip. We're sparring every time. That's the main guy I spar with, you know? And I was just like, man, I don't want to spar him today. He's gonna get on me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I texted you and I said, you know what, coach, I got work, I can't come in today. Or it was something along those lines, something like that. And once I got, oh yeah, it was homework. I was like, got homework, can't come in. And once I got my homework done and stuff, after it relieved this sort of like stress off me, and it really made me go, man, you should have just went to training today, dude. Yeah. Like, it would have made you feel even better. And what you taught me, or not only what you taught me as well, my parents, I don't lie. I really don't like to lie. I'm an honest guy. So I texted you that evening too, just guilt on my heart. And I was like, you know what? I can't lie. Like, even, we got blood axe here, right here. Like, you taught me, bro. Yeah. Do not lie. Like, just be honest. So I had to text you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say something real quick. When you were honest, that allowed me to help you, because sometimes you really are busy and you really are caught up with homework and all this. But the fact that you were honest and you spoke up and you're like, yo, coach, this is what's going on, I was able to help you and guide you through it more. You know what I'm saying? And the fact, I'm grateful that you spoke up.
What was good about that too is like, I almost didn't send that text. You know why? Because I was like, man, coach is gonna just be mad, even more mad at me because I lied to him. But then I was like, dude, regardless of that, like, that's the consequence to your action. You lied, own up to it, text them, and deal with the consequence. You know what I mean?
And you grew a lot from that. Last few times you started sparring, you're doing very well.
Thank you.
You grew a lot. You've been in the Warrior program now how long?
2 months.
So you've been boxing a total of about 4 months?
Yeah, 4 months.
Yeah, and you've changed a lot. I mean, you're looking really good. What's your goal from here into the future with boxing?
I mean, hopefully one day I can compete. I got big goals for myself that I can't even say out loud, you know? Like, I just write it down on paper.
But I can see you competing. You're very capable of doing it.
I really appreciate that,
I can see you doing it for sure. Yeah, you do. I can see you doing it. And now that you came and you crossed your first hurdle, the first one, because there's gonna be plenty more in the future, but you got the first one out the way. How do you feel about the growth, and how do you feel about yourself?
Honestly, like, I'm really proud because, like, the work I've put in boxing, or the things I've learned in boxing, have also helped me in my real life. I know I said that already, but I feel like that's just so important because there's so many things in life where people just quit.
Yeah.
But they were right there. They
Right
were
there.
right there, and they didn't even. They're so oblivious to it. You know.
I'm gonna tell you something that one of my boxers here told me. And they accomplished a lot. They made huge strides in boxing, some things that they never experienced they could ever do. And he sent me a message one day and was like, you know what, thank you, Jose, for this. I never, ever would have thought that would happen, that I would ever be capable of doing this.
That's how I truly feel too, honestly.
And then he said, I am doing something and living something that that I would have never thought I would have done. And I had to overcome all these things to get here. And when he said this, he was like, there's so many people out there that never lived their true selves, because they never, ever experienced the confidence to be themselves. You know what I'm saying with that?
No, that's
so
deep.
If you never have the confidence of being who you truly are, you never get to experience who you are. What I mean by that is you don't get to experience the job, the anything that you honestly want, that it's honestly you, because you never had the confidence to be you.
I feel like that's really important. There was a day where we sparred, and Ruben was here, and he was giving us really good advice, man.
Yeah,
He was really, and like that helped me, but I don't think I like felt it all the way. And I just remember as he's leaving, he's like, you guys could really do this. Like, that's what he said. He said, you guys could really do this. And I kind of like chuckled, but he was like, and then maybe he heard me chuckle, maybe he didn't. He's like, no, but like, honestly, I mean that. You guys could really do this. And it didn't take me until a couple days after, but I'm like, how can another man believe in me like more than I could believe in myself?
Yeah.
Like, bro, that's a pro. Ruben is pro,
And
man.
he's telling you
and
that.
he's telling me that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just laugh at that, like chuckle at that. Like, nah, dude, that's serious. Like, even in real life, like if I wanted to get like.
That's 100% true, man. And that's probably the biggest thing. People don't believe in themselves. And that's when everything falls apart. That's why I think it's important that we use boxing to help that build. Like, use boxing to help you. Don't let boxing use you to beat yourself up and then you got a broken nose and you're brain dead. But use boxing to teach you these disciplines and work ethic and things that are instilled in you afterwards that you can on and take off to school, to work, and your family. That's great, man. I'm super proud of you for that. And I just want to say thank you for sharing all that with me, because I really want to be a part of the podcast for that reason, because I feel like so many people need to hear that. Like, you were surprised that Chip said that to you. So many people are surprised that you're saying this right now.
Exactly. Like, that's another thing. Like, don't be afraid to speak up. Like, even if you get an answer that you didn't want to hear, maybe it's the answer you needed to hear. You know what I mean? Like, because that's really important. Like, it's something that you can't even perceive in your own mind. It's getting a pair of eyes from another person.
Amen. All right, so now let's start having some fun questions, random fun questions.
Sure.
Tell me something about Harmen no one knows.
Oh, man.
Come on, Harmen, speak up.
Something that no one knows.
Something about Harmen that no one knows.
Dude, that's such a hard question. That no one knows. Dude, because I talk hecka, you know? I'm telling people everything about myself.
Share something.
No one knows. Dude, you got me stumped.
Lifeline, you want to call a friend? 50-50?
No one knows. Because it has to be something good. It can't just be like, oh, I write with my left hand or something.
Come on, there's got to be something unique of Harmen that not many people know. Something out there.
You got me stumped.
You don't got nothing? Come on.
that no one knows. A lot of people know a lot about me though.
Nah,
I just
quit
like to
playing.
talk. I just
Quit playing. There's things that I like to talk, and there's things that people don't know about me.
I feel like, I mean, this may be something that a lot of my teammates may have known when I came in, but I was extremely, like, I was kind of full of myself and nervous. Like, it was like a mix of confidence and not confidence. I thought I could come in here and compete with these people that are sparring for 2-3 years, you know what I'm saying? And then you get in there and it's a reality check. You're like, whoa, that kind of changed. It made my confidence go down, but once I got better, it made it go back up again.
Yeah.
And that really helps, you know? So I think that's something no one knew. I was really scared. I was really nervous.
All right, that's a good one. All right, now if you're gonna go out to eat or hang out and do something on a Friday or Saturday night, where are you going out to eat?
Where am I going out to eat? Honestly, like probably like a BJ's or a Pete's, something like that. I really don't go out often.
Okay.
I think that's another thing that really surprises people for how talkative I am. I do not go to parties.
You don't do nothing like that?
It's crazy.
All right. So if you could collaborate with somebody or do anything with work, business, video, or anything, any famous person, who would it be and why?
Any famous person? Oh, there's a couple people.
Oh.
Probably like Mike Tyson, just because I like his energy.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like he changed really as a person.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
After boxing.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
This is really controversial. Maybe Kanye. He says some really dumb things, but sometimes he says some really smart things.
Yeah.
And he has connections, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he really knows how to connect himself with other brands.
Yeah.
And that's why he's a billionaire, so.
Yeah. All right. Those are good ones. All right. So tell me something you really, really love about the gym.
Really love about the gym? Oh, the energy. You can't get this type of energy at every gym. You know what I mean? That's why I chose this gym. I don't know if we could put this in here, or you know what? I'm not gonna say the other gym's name.
Yeah.
But there was another gym that I was looking at. And it was almost certain I was gonna go there. Like I even almost called them and everything like, hey, and then I seen this gym. Do you know how hard it is to have all 5-star reviews, not a single review 4, 3, 2, or 1? Like restaurants don't do that. You know, there is very limited places that have all 5 stars. And not only that, from 500 plus people, you know what I mean? Not a small 20 people, like 500 plus people. So I'm like, oh, immediately, like I didn't even bother calling the other place. Called here, it came in probably like the next day. And the number one thing I noticed is the positivity with everybody within each other. There hasn't been a time where someone has ever brought somebody down since I've been here.
Yeah.
Not one time,
Yeah.
you know? It doesn't matter what skill set you are, you could just be just starting off. When I was just starting off in the Warrior program, I was still being treated like anybody else, you know what I mean? Like, so that's extremely important.
Yeah, that's huge. That's a huge, man. Thank you for sharing that. That's very good. Very, very good. All right, so if you want to add anything to the podcast, you want to say anything, this is your time to do it. If you want to add anything to it.
Guys, don't ever quit, you know? Keep going. Just go, 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 go. I'm gonna keep saying go, 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 because that is so important to not stop. You don't realize how close you are. Like, I don't know how to explain it. You could be right there and not know that you're like inches away from success. And that's really happened for me in the Warrior program. I was getting beat on for the past like 6-7 times I was sparring. And then one day it kind of clicked where I got that confidence in myself. Yeah. And it wasn't just, I was doing super good, you know what I mean, firing off shots, but it was a glimpse. And that glimpse gave me that confidence to keep having more glimpses, and getting better.
I remember that one was good. That was real good. All right, man. So quick little recap of the episode with Harmen is go, 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 go. Like Harmen said, keep pushing. Face your challenges and Another thing I would say that I loved about this is don't be afraid to speak up.
I was just about to, I swear
Yeah.
I was just about to say that.
Don't be afraid
to speak up.
Speak up. Speak up, regardless if it's good or bad. Be honest, conversate and communicate with associates, teammates, parents, family, because it goes a long way. I think you would not be here if you didn't talk to Chip that day.
I probably wouldn't.
You would have
honestly.
quit.
And that's not even for the camera or anything. I would have probably quit.
Yeah.
Because it was so hard. It was so hard. I didn't think I could express that to somebody else.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad I was able to talk to somebody. You know what I mean?
push
Talking
it.
helps.
Yep. All right. So if people want to get in contact with you, is there social media? How can people?
No, I don't got no social
Nothing?
media.
How about your YouTube page? You were on YouTube.
I'm not even on my YouTube, man.
All right.
but
Well, if you want to contact,
you see
my
me
man
around the
Harmen,
gym, please do not be afraid to talk. You
Hit
know what I'm
up
saying?
Harmen. Hit up Harmen.
Talk to me.
All
Talk to me.
right. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you yourself or know anyone that can relate or can benefit from this, feel free to share this episode with them. If you liked it, leave a review, leave a comment. Thank you, Harmen, for coming on. I'll see you guys all next week for another episode. We out. Deuces.